Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and a new video. I wanted to get this video out sooner, but then I got caught up with the Sim Gaming Expo, then going on vacation. Anyways, back on the Sim Gaming Expo, it was amazing. I was so lucky to meet so many different people from the community, and everybody was amazing, everybody was nice. It was really an amazing experience to be part of the very first expo of its kind in the US. Anyways, back to the topic. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Pimax Crystal Super. Now with me here, I've got the 50 PPD version. There are other versions out there like the 57 PPD, the Ultrawide, and the soon to be released OLED 8K version. Again, just like with all of our videos, I do want to say from the beginning, Pimax did send us this headset for review, but everything I say, all my opinions are my own. They have no influence over it, just like all of our other reviews. Now, if you do want to pick up this headset, I do have links down below for our affiliate links, so I can get you a little bit of a discount, and also helps us out here at the channel too. They are also running a campaign too, so if you trade in your old PC VR headset, you will get an extra discount on your headset when you purchase one of these. Staying on that topic for a bit, let's look at the pricing. Pimax offers two ways to purchase a headset. You can either pay in full, or you can pay about half at purchase and the rest over time. But the full price of the headset is a little steep, and it's about $1,700, 1,600 euro, and 1,300 UK pounds. That is a steep price when you compare it to the Crystal Light, which is also a great headset in its own rights also. The headset comes with the standard speakers, which I do think are quite lacking, but you can get the DMAS headphones, which I do recommend for an extra $100. Like I said, there are a couple different versions of the Super available as well that alter the field of view and the PPD slightly, as well as the OLED version coming in the future as well, which I'm really excited to check out as soon as I can. So definitely make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that in the future. So yeah, definitely quite an expensive headset, although it does need to be noted here that it does include both hand controllers, as well as inside-out tracking and a top head strap to help you with comfort. So what do we get in the box? Of course, we have the headset, two hand controllers, the top strap, a power with different plugs so you're covered no matter where you live, and a second face pad. You can see the shiny faceplate on the Crystal Super, which has that integrated V-shape style, which is the signature of Pimax's logo. But it's also illuminated on the Super, and you can actually adjust it in the software to illuminate different types of colors that you wish. But in terms of overall build quality, fit, and finish, it's nothing really to brag about. The plastic is the same quality we've seen on previous Pimax models. There are a couple of noticeable small differences in terms of how it fits on your face when you compare it to the Crystal Light. So here we do have a ratchet on the back which extends or shortens the distance between the front and the back that kind of ratchets down on the back of your head. The additional top strap operates in the same manner if you want to make use of that, and it really helps support your head a little bit more and make sure it doesn't fall onto your face or your nose. One complaint that I've had with the Crystal Light is that if it's not exactly in the right spot on your face, if it moves up and down at all, you get this kind of bowing or bending effect that distorts the images on the outer edges of the lenses, and it can be really distracting. It can even make you feel a little bit sick after driving for a while. But with the Super being a bit lighter and the reworked rear head strap that hugs your head better, I didn't have those issues anymore and the headset was really stable around my head. The new thing with the Crystal Super is the changeable optical modules. So if you have the 50 PPD version, you don't need to go and buy a new headset, you just have to buy the module if you want to upgrade. You can remove the module by pushing in these two clips and then pulling out the module and then putting in the new one. If you look inside, you see the main connector, and then there's two smaller connectors next to it that connects the module to the headset. And I really like this take on VR headsets, which really helps save gamers money over the long term as they upgrade their PC and their VR. So let's look at the optical module, and we can here see the lenses. So both the Crystal Super and the Crystal Light both use spherical lenses, giving it a larger sweet spot when compared to the Vive or the Reverb. What do we have in terms of visual fidelity? Well, the module has a resolution of 3840 pixels both vertically and horizontally. So that's almost 30 million pixels in this headset. And with this 50 PPD version, we get a horizontal field of 127 degrees. So with the dynamic foveated rendering, that means is when you move your eyes around, it's always going to keep track of where you're looking and making sure you have the highest resolution in that spot. And it just reduces the resolution of the areas outside of that sweet spot of your vision where you're not really going to notice it much anyway. Testing in a few of the sims, it doesn't work fully in everything, and it really depends on if the sim supports foveated rendering or not. The Super does have automatic IPD adjustment, so that's where it adjusts the distance of your lenses to match your pupils. This really helps if multiple people in your house use that headset, but if it's just you, you can adjust it once and be done with it. And what I like about it is just before it adjusts the IPD, it's going to make sure you have the headset on correctly before doing those adjustments. This Pimax comes with QLED panels, and I did find that the colors are more vibrant on this headset than they were on the Crystal Lite. You can crank the colors down in the software if it is a bit too much for you. But what I was really impressed with is all the blacks. Although not completely jet black like what you get with an OLED panel, they are still quite black. It didn't look gray like the other headsets, and that's thanks to the local dimming feature that turns off segmented portions of the LEDs to get those blacks. Even running with a 9800 X3D and a 4090 card, there are going to be some sacrifices to keep those frame rates up. So for my settings, here they are in the Pimax Play app. And again, you might have to change a few things depending on your PC specs, but I really think this is a good starting point. The big thing is using OpenXR instead of Steam VR. Steam VR just can't handle this headset and you're going to be in a huge stuttering mess. So again, here are my settings that I'm using for OpenXR. Again, you might have to adjust the settings depending on your PC specs. I haven't mentioned either, this is a 90Hz VR headset, and that is the number you want your games to be running at. So you will have to play around with the Pimax Play, OpenXR, and in-game graphics settings to get as close as you can to that number. So here I'm going to be taking a look at 3 sims for now, to give you an idea of how good that headset is. In AMS2, I found this headset works great. I could max out almost everything and keep the frame rates pretty stable. I really do think the Madness engine is very friendly when it comes to VR, and here I am in a McLaren GT3 at Road America, very close to sunset, and I chose this setting because I wanted to see the different lighting effects on the track. And all I can say is the colors just pop and the lighting effects are very crisp and clear. I did have to turn down the drawn car numbers down to 15 just to make sure everything stays smooth, but I think that number is not really going to affect your racing experience at all anyway. In Le Mans Ultimate, I did have to work a little bit harder to find that sweet setting spot. If you saw my previous video, I explained how I was able to get it running smoothly and eliminate those jagged edges as much as I could. And I also included a reference video in the description down below for setting up LMU properly. Again here, it's the same as AMS2, the visuals really just pop and the colors are superb. Really the big reason I wanted to wait on this review was waiting for iRacing's new update that included foveated rendering. If you saw my previous video, my frame rate was all over the place, but with this new update, it solved all of that. So make sure when you're setting up VR, in the game settings, make sure to select foveated to enable it. After I enabled that setting and changed nothing else in all my other graphical settings, all of a sudden my frame rate was very stable around 90 FPS. One thing you might have to do is you have to change the video memory allocated in your OpenXR renderer INI file to something higher to make sure your textures are not blurry. What iRacing does to keep frames and graphics up is it lowers the resolution of something like the liveries, the signs, the car dash, to try and keep things running smoothly. And I don't know if it was just me, but I really found that after this update, the graphics pop a lot more than the previous build. I don't know if it's just a placebo effect from how much better iRacing runs now with this foveated rendering option. I don't know, but if you notice the same thing, let me know down in the comments down below. So what do I think of this headset? I think it's a great step up from the Pimax Crystal Lite in terms of color and resolution. I love the addition of eye tracking that I think the Crystal Lite severely lacked and could have had. The addition of the top strap really helps with comfort and stability. It really helps make sure the headset doesn't rest on your nose and get painful over time. and it helps hug your head better, reducing the headset movement when you move your head or you're on a motion system. The new automatic IPD adjustment is great, but it's a bit flawed. It works good if multiple people use it, but if it's just you, I would just set your IPD once and forget about it. Some people will argue that it's only 90 Hz instead of the 120 like the Crystal Light, but to be able to race in 4K for me in 90 Hz is really plenty enough. I do like the fact that you can swap out the optical modules for other ones, so if you just want to change from the 50 PPD to the Ultrawide or the soon to be released OLED, you just need to buy the module and not the whole entire headset. My only gripe, and not really a big one, again, it's gonna vary from person to person, and it's the weight. Even though it's lighter than the Crystal Light, it is heavy when you compare it to its competitors like the Big Screen Beyond VR. I haven't tried that one, but I hope to do so in the future. In the end, I've really enjoyed this headset, and again, your experience with it is going to vary depending on your PC specs. I don't think there is a gaming PC out there that can handle and run this headset with fully max settings. If your PC is a bit slower or you are a bit strapped for cash, then I would recommend the Crystal Light, and you're not going to be disappointed. Both of them offer a great VR experience in my opinion. Again, Pimax is running a special on both the Crystal Light and the Crystal Super when you trade in your old PC VR. I have all the info and the links in the description down below, along with our other affiliate links, and that really helps us out if you want to buy one of these headsets or use any of our other affiliate links. Anyways guys, that is it. What do you think of this headset? If you have it, how has your experience been? Or if you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, just think about liking and sharing and subscribing to our channel. It really helps us out and helps bring us new content for you. Again, thanks again, and until next time, have fun racing. Later.